Spending more on a soundbar does not mean you get better sound. I have the data to prove it. Some of the worst performers in this lineup cost twice what the best one does. Price and performance are completely disconnected, and today that changes for you. Here is what most TV buyers get wrong. They chase the spec sheet, 8K resolution, quantum dots, a processor with a name that sounds like a sports car, and they never once ask whether any of it actually shows up on screen. I've run every set in this lineup through the same battery of tests: brightness, contrast, motion handling, input lag, real-world picture calibration. No manufacturer sent me talking points. Just panels, test patterns, and a lot of squinting. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which TV to buy at each price point in 2026, and more importantly, which ones to walk straight past. At number 5, the Ultimia Poseidon M601 $99, Dolby Atmos, a wired subwoofer, HEI, and a claim that 5 built-in speakers can replace a full surround setup with no rear speakers required. That last part is where the marketing and reality start to have a conversation. The M6 specs out at 300 watts peak, a frequency response down to 45 Hz, and a maximum SPL of 99 decibels. On paper, that is a legitimate home theater system. The 2 side-firing drivers are doing the heavy lifting for surround width, and HDMI EARC means you are getting lossless. Dolby Atmos signal, not a compressed down mix. The Voice MX dialogue enhancement is a real feature, not a buzzword. It targets vocal frequencies specifically, so speech does not get buried under bass during action sequences. Rated 4.5 stars across nearly 2,000 reviews with a bestseller badge. Buyers clearly like it, but at $99 you are buying a soundbar trying to be a surround system. Side-firing drivers create the illusion of width. That is not the same as sound actually coming from behind you. If you have a small room and a tight budget, this overachieves. If you want genuine immersion, the gap will show. At $279, the Bose TV speaker is selling you 3 things: the name, the simplicity, and the promise that dialogue will finally stop sounding like everyone is mumbling underwater. 2 of those 3 hold up. The name is Bose. The setup is genuinely simple. Optical cable included, 1 connection, done. And the dialogue clarity? That part is real. 2 angled full-range drivers focus specifically on vocal presence, and owners consistently report voices cutting through in a way cheap bars just don't deliver. That is the win here. But here is where the marketing gets slippery. Bose calls this an all-in-one compact soundbar. Compact, yes. All-in-one? That depends entirely on what you need. There is no subwoofer, no dedicated bass channel. At 14,000 plus reviews and a 4.3 rating, buyers clearly like it. But the recurring complaint is predictable: thin, low end. For news, dialogue-heavy dramas, and podcasts, this is arguably the cleanest option in the $250 to $300 range. For action films or anything with a real soundtrack, that missing bass will bother you within a week. Skip it if your content hits hard, but the next pick changes the math entirely. At $79.99, the Amazon Fire TV soundbar leads with a bold claim: DTS Virtual X Surround Sound from a 2.0 speaker bar that is literally 24 inches wide. Virtual surround from 2 drivers. Let that sink in. Marketing loves that phrase. Real rooms are less forgiving. What DTS Virtual X actually does is use psychoacoustic processing to simulate height and width cues. Whether you hear it depends entirely on your room shape and where you sit. Dead center on a couch, some buyers report a genuinely wider stage. Off-axis, it collapses fast. That is the honest version of the promise. What holds up without any asterisk is the Fire TV ecosystem play. If you are already running a Fire TV stick or a Fire TV set, the HDMI EARC setup is genuinely plug-and-play. No Bluetooth pairing delay, no sync issues. Dialogue clarity gets a real upgrade over built-in TV speakers. Bass is present, not powerful. For casual streaming and news, that is fine. For anything with a real low-end, yes, action, horror, live concerts, you will feel the ceiling. At $79.99, it is hard to be angry, but it is a TV speaker replacement, not a home theater upgrade. Who it is for? Fire TV households who just want better dialogue. Who should keep scrolling? Anyone chasing real immersion. Now here's where the price tier gets genuinely awkward for the competition. The Cyan is a 2.1 system. Soundbar plus a dedicated subwoofer for $59.99. A physical woofer cabinet handling low-end frequencies separately. That is not a marketing claim. That is basic acoustic engineering, and it matters. Dialogue-focused bars at this price point simulate bass through tiny drivers. The Cyan actually moves air. Buyers notice. It carries a 4.4 out of 5 across nearly 3,900 reviews. That sample size earns some credibility. You also get 3 EQ modes, Bluetooth, optical, and AUX inputs. Color-coded LED indicators so you always know which input you're on, and every cable included in the box. At $60, that is a complete system. The honest caveat? We don't have independent lab data on actual frequency response or output levels, so take the deep bass marketing copy with appropriate skepticism. What 3,895 buyers suggest is that real-world satisfaction is high. For gaming, movies, and music on a tight budget, this is a structurally stronger buy than a single driver bar at the same price. Who should skip it? Anyone needing true room-filling volume. But for most living rooms under this price ceiling, the subwoofer alone makes the case. And then there's this one, the RIOWOIS. $34? Bestseller badge. Over 4,500 reviews at a 4.1 rating. Every instinct says budget compromise. Except the number one complaint about cheap soundbars is muffled dialogue, and RIOWOIS specifically engineered around that problem with DSP processing and a bass reflector design. That's not marketing fluff. That's a deliberate acoustic choice at a price most brands use to cut corners. The 3 sound modes, movie, music, news, let you tune for speech clarity when you need it, not just thump. It clears a 2.5-inch height profile, so it won't block your IR sensor. Wall mountable. Fire TV remote compatible out of the box. Is it a home theater? No. Does it fill a concert hall? Definitely not. But for a bedroom TV, a home office monitor, or a first upgrade from built-in speakers, nearly 5,000 buyers are telling you it punches well above its price tag. At $34, getting dialogue clarity right is the only job that matters. Many owners report it does exactly that. So let's cut to the actual tier list. Under $50, frequency response consistency is a coin flip. You get dialogue clarity or you get muddy bass, rarely both. The $34 option earns its keep on voices. That's its ceiling. Move into the $70 to $90 range and the gap closes faster than the marketing suggests. Many buyers report real-world performance differences you can measure in loudness handling and distortion at volume, not in subtle warmth. Where expensive genuinely wins? Dynamic range under load. That's the one metric budget drivers reliably lose. So here's the honest tier. Tight budget, one clear pick. Mid-range, harder to justify. And the top slot, it has to earn every dollar above 90. Let's see if it does. Here's what the data actually says. The budget pick over-delivers. The mid-range option charges you for a brand name, not better engineering. And the top pick earns its price, but only if you need what it specifically does better. Spend where the specs diverge. Save where they converge. Because most of the pricing in this category is built on loyalty, not performance. Links are in the description. Check current prices before you decide. If this saved you from a bad buy, subscribe. No sponsored reviews ever. Links are below. Check current prices and pick with confidence.